Hello and welcome, my name is Parky and so playing some more ParkyGames Evolved. Meet me back where we're going to be discovering, or taking part in even, the Pirate Plague, which is a maritime piracy which has increased worldwide and poses a major threat to international shipping. Global sea transport and trade is significantly reduced, changing the way that people travel. How will anyone get to Greenland now? God damn it, Greenland. If you cause me problems again this episode, I'm going to be very unhappy. However, we're going to be playing as a Neurax worm. The major reason behind this is that obviously you get to do the Trojan plains. So if all the ship transport has been lowered, then probably the only way we're going to get to those outlying islands such as Greenland and New Zealand and all those other bastard countries that always screw us over in this game, we're going to be doing this. So Neurax worm, perfect. And then we've got a few genes I want to put in. I think ATP boost is okay. I'd very much like some of these. I mean, Darwinist would be very good indeed as well, because it'd save us a lot of money in the long term. But we don't have any of those. We're also going to stick with Terracite. God, it's almost been set up for me already. And should we go for... And again, I'd quite like Extremophile, which gives it a boost in all environments. But obviously we don't have that, so we're going to have to go for... Oh, God. I suppose arid, or should we go for humid? Are there more humid countries in the world than arid countries? That is a very interesting question. I'm not really sure. We'll just go for hydrophile. And then in this, we're going to go for symptostasis. I don't really think there's many symptoms that we're actually going to be using today. But we're going to go with it. We don't really have much choice. So let's go for pirate worm face. Pirate worm face. Perfect. You are a new Neurax worm. To win, you must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all humans in the ultimate plague. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for India. Now, India is obviously a good choice, as always. I always go for this one. Pirate worm face begins in India. Neurax worm emergence. Pirate worm face is a Neurax worm, undiscovered for thousands of years. Now humans have entered its natural habitat and given it means to spread. Right, so we've got a few points now because we've got the ATP boost. What I think I'm going to go for straight away is eggs, because we want to start spreading into our own country quite a lot, as much as we can anyway. What else we got in here? I think we could go for neural breach. Maybe we should go for some of these things. I'm not really sure. We've got some concertia locomotion, that might be helpful. Increased infectivity, spreading outside of the host. Yeah, sure. Okay, and then we're going to go for undulatory locomotion, because I like that one. The word undulatory is very descriptive. It makes me think of worms, like squirming around on the floor and jumping into people's necks. Yo-yo attacks become more common. Okay, I really should look at the newsfeed more, because it seems to be quite a source of hilarity. Oh, what am I talking about? Let's go in here. We're going to get the undulatory locomotion, and then next we could go for... Should we go for genetic swap? Increases chance of mutation. Could be useful, actually, because if we look at the symptoms, we're only going to start learning neural breach. Evolving neural breach and further things like that. I think most of these symptoms are actually okay. It's all about brain control. It's not so much about killing people, unless you go in completely the other route in there, but it's okay. We're just going to stick with what we've got. Okay, so as the time passes, I think what we're going to go for next is maybe a few more of the transmission traits, because there's a lot of these that we've unlocked now that we've got eggs. Could go for rodent. In fact, I think is India sort of urban, isn't it? Sort of rural and urban. Well, either way, we're going to go for probably all of these, to be honest, because it's nice to have a bit of a spread, and then we'll go for some water and air spreading as well. Love that air spreading. Okay, so we've just actually made it into China as well, which is going to be incredibly helpful. We're going to go for Insect 1 now, and then we're going to go for Bird 1, followed by Water and Air. Now, the main purpose of this is that there aren't really any symptoms that are going to help us spread massively. What's this? University debate controversy. Huge controversy erupts over university debate on whether it's fair for parents living off state benefits to give birth to children which they can't support. Well, that's lovely, but it's not really going to aid us in our knowledge of, or understanding of the pirate plague, which is going to stop us from spreading via boats. Now, that's not to say that all boats in the world have actually stopped going. There are a few that are going to still be running in between countries. You might see one now and again. I think there was one from England going to America a minute ago. But they're just going to be a lot rarer. There's only really going to be, yeah, there's a couple down there. There's only really going to be aeroplanes, which are going to be spreading this disease around. So now we're going to go for Bird 1, then we're going to go for Water and Air. New disease spreading. A normal checkup, a doctor in India found a new disease which has been named Pirate Worm Face. Oh dear God. It's a shame that real diseases in real life aren't sort of given such frivolous names as that, isn't it? India's actually started on a cure, which is not going to help us very much. We're going to go for Air next. And then once we've got that, we could just go for... Should we go for Air 2 and 3? And start working towards the extreme whatever it's called, extreme bioaerosol. Might be a good idea. India's now started shutting down its airports, which is not going to help us. But again, at the same time, it doesn't really matter because we've already spread around into a lot of the Asian areas, which is fantastic. We're also going to go for Air 2. Should we go for Air 3? We're committed. We might as well go for Air 3. So as soon as we've got enough points, we'll grab that. And then after that, I'm feeling as though maybe we should go into some of the specifically Neurax worm traits. How many points do we need? 29. God, that's a lot of points. I feel as though some of those genetic sort of boosts that you can give it at the start of the game would be very helpful in aiding me to win a lot of these. There's not much we can do about it now. Mutative regeneration. Cause frequent replication errors when regenerating and increased chance of mutation. Should we just go for it? Yeah, you know what, why not? Should we get the second one as well? 18, I suppose it might be useful, because if we get that, if we start mutating quite quickly, we've got more chance that we won't need to buy any of the other things like Neural Breach that's just happened. You know, we're just going to go for it. Okay, so after this, what should we get? I'm feeling as though maybe Trojan Plains would be good. Where's that again? It's in here. Okay, so that's going to allow us to start infecting people, making them fly to other countries, and effectively start infesting all of these sort of really difficult islands that are on the outside of the world. Okay, it's been placed on the Who watch list, which is not going to be helpful. I think first, should we go for Central Africa? We haven't even got into Africa yet, might be useful. And I think now we might start investing some more into the transmission traits again. I feel as though maybe the second tier of all of these three would be quite good, because it's going to infect, well, all of the different climates, cross-border and also in urban environments, which would be very good indeed. So we're going to get 23 points. And then where should we send this one? I'm feeling like maybe somewhere like here? Should we go here? Okay, Brazil, you're being infected next. Now you might be saying, Parky, why are you sending it to all these big land masses first? Well, it's because we haven't actually infected many of those countries yet. And although, you know, the chances are that we're going to spread into these countries a lot quicker than the other ones, I feel as though it might be worth getting those before the islands, because we're going to get loads more opportunities to use the Trojan Plains later on in this game. Okay, so we've got Rodent 2, we're also going to go for Bird 2. And maybe Insect 2 as well. These are all getting quite expensive though, but it's massively increasing the infectivity, which is going to help us. So let's just grab all of this. We're going to go for Bird next. And as you can see now, we're starting to get a few more infections going around the world. So now where do we want to send this one? Maybe Canada. Has Canada even got infected yet? I don't think it has. Okay, so we're going to go for Insect 2. And then after this, should we go for water? I feel as though water might be useful. We'll go for 30 DNA points. It's going to take us a little while to get that. Hopefully not too long, though. The rate at which we're infecting the rest of the world is going to help us massively. Okay, the confusion symptom has now mutated. Obviously, the world is now very aware that we are existing, as we're on 15% research, but there's nothing really that we can do about that. Should we go for, is Sweden and Finland infected? I think we should probably not go for them. Maybe Central Europe. Have we got any of these? Central Europe, yeah, sure, why not? That sounds good to me. Okay, should we actually get these research bubbles popped? Thank you very much, game. Okay, so now we're going to go for Greenland, because I hate Greenland so much, oh my god. And then we're going to go for water and also water 3. So now I've got this, I feel as though we should start increasing the rate at which the Trojan Plains are coming about. It only requires 6 points. And then after this, should we go for drug resistance? I feel as though this might be a useful investment considering they're on 25% of the research already. Okay, are there any countries which we haven't infected yet? Have we actually got the Caribbean? Look at that, the Caribbean was going to screw us over. How dare they? In fact, let's go for Trojan Plains 3 first. Although, you might argue that's a bit of a waste of time at this point in time, just because we've already infected most countries, but it's still going to be helpful anyway. Frontal mesh has evolved. Okay, we'll send this one to Russia this time. And now we're going to go for drug resistance. We're also going to go for drug resistance 2, which is going to cost 29, but that's okay. We're on 40% of the research speed. That is not very good indeed. I'm going to send this one over to Greenland again. Okay, global research is actually screwing me over slightly at the moment. But that's okay. Drug resistance, and then shall we go for Trojan roams? Increasing infectivity in target country. Do we need this though? I don't feel as though we really need this anymore. Let's go for some cold resistance, because we can see that we're struggling in all the cold regions. We'll also go for cold 2, because this is going to obviously help us massively. We only have 15 DNA points for that, but this should start having an immediate effect, which is obviously going to be very helpful indeed. Okay, so it's cold 2, and then after this we want to start going into these branches. So let's go for, should we go for immaturity? Sure. Okay, so that's going to decrease the hygiene rating, which is going to increase the infection. I thought maybe the immaturity would lower the amount of people that went to the doctor to get cured. But next we're going to go for mania, because basically what we're going to try and do now is we're going to start trying to make everyone love the worm, basically. Memory loss symptom mutated. Okay, what else have we got here? Mania. We're also going to go for Obsession, and then Devotion, which is going to be 17 DNA points. Now, we're going to start hitting quite near the 100% mark. Reports are coming in all over the world of an extreme obsession in collecting earthworms. Psychologists are baffled and can't explain the new craze. Okay, so it's going to be cut fine, to be honest. It's going to be very close indeed. If we can get these points quickly enough, we should be okay. So we need 17, so come on, we just need a few more points now. I'm going to send it down here. Okay, so we got that. Now we need Adoration, or is it Transcendence? Transcendence would be good, but the research is very high. Okay, so unfortunately the research is almost there, but if we can grab this just in time, maybe we can reinfect people. I've actually never been in a situation where the research has been 100%, people are being cured, but then people are being in love with the worm, and so wanting more worm face. Not sure, it's very strange. Okay, well we're going to start sending this around, 95% cure complete. Unfortunately this is going to start curing a lot of people, but at the same time... Oh damn, I think we've completely screwed this up, haven't we? Damn it, not the worm! No! Okay, well I think unfortunately... Oh, the London Olympics is back on, that's lovely. Pirate worm is to be eradicated. Oh, and Madagascar doesn't have anyone in it, so I would have screwed myself over already. Okay, so I've given this another go, and this time instead I just did things in a little bit of a different order. I didn't pump as much into the sort of Trojan roamers and the drug resistance. I just went for a transmission, and then before I started doing all of the transmission, I sort of evolved the route to the Transcendence first. This obviously means it encourages people to worship the worm. Worship the worm. But that basically means that everyone who has the worm doesn't want to get cured, which is obviously a good thing for us. So aside from that, I also just invested in Cold Resistance 1 and 2, which is obviously going to help us in the colder regions, and it seems to have done the job this time, thankfully. Now, is there anywhere else which is trolling us right now? Madagascar is definitely trolling us. Luckily, though, because the world is loving the worm, it means that the research is actually very slow. The first death in New Guinea has been confirmed. Unfortunately, we keep evolving the symptom of aggression. I don't really know why. Maybe everyone loves the worm so much they want to beat everyone else to death to make it seem as though they are the most worthy in the eyes of the god worm. I think we've all been infected with the wormy lovingness. Okay, so we're just going to keep sending planes over to Madagascar, not that it really matters at this point in time. We pretty much infected the entire world, so there we go. Speaking of which, the last healthy person on the planet has recently become infected with Extreme BO. Now I actually just completely forgot to change the name, so it's strange in this game, because the first ever name you give your virus when you play it in the main campaign sticks with it throughout the rest of the game, which is very strange, unless you change it. The whole world worships Extreme BO as their god and master. Efforts to cure the plague have ceased, and humanity is entering a dark new future as a slave species. The Gwawood have returned. Okay, well there we go. Victory! The whole world worships Extreme BO, complete pirate plague, as their god and master. Effects to cure the plague have ceased, and humanity is entering a dark new future as a slave species. And the ability to not speak English. Proven twice. Okay, what am I talking about? Well, there we are. We actually managed to do this one, thankfully. So the world has actually been enslaved. We did it in 368 days, and for some reason I actually managed to get all 3 of those stars, which is pretty good. I must be improving at this game. It's a bit of a shame that whenever I fail these the first time round, when I play them for you guys, when I do it off screen and then show you the result, I always do really well. It's just the way of it. Unfortunately, I can't speak and do this at the same time. But that's another one done. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave your support in the comment section below, leave ratings, and tell your friends. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, awkward, goodbye. Okay.